Welcome to the online course on exploring trends in regional trade agreements with Legal Legal is an extension of the original TINA, providing guidance and analytic capabilities to develop the text and legal provisions of trade agreements. This is a video to guide you on how to use Legal to explore legal text and legal provisions in the existing trade agreements, including regional trade agreements and the WTO-covered agreements. Now we're on the home page of Legal Click on Get Started. We'll see a list of RTA issue areas. These issue areas are categorized into 3 groups, depending on how commonly and frequently they are covered by regional trade agreements. These 3 groups are built partially based on the World Bank's work on deep trade agreements. The first group, common RTA issue areas, refer to those areas that are very traditional trade topics and are covered by nearly all trade agreements. The second group, common deep RTA issue areas, refer to moderner trade issues and topics that were not developed very much in old traditional trade agreements. Inclusion of those deep issue areas indicates deeper and more advanced cooperation among RTA parties. The third group, emerging RTA issue areas, refer to areas that not necessarily trade or economic issues themselves, but can be related to trade and can be achieved through trade-related measures or policies. Therefore, those emerging RTA issue areas are increasingly incorporated in RTAs in more recent years. Legal provides basic knowledge of each of these issue areas. If you are not familiar with any one of the issue area, you can get started by selecting any of these issue areas that you are interested in. For example, we go to agriculture. Legal provides answers to these questions to help you understand more about how agriculture is addressed under trade agreements. For example, what do I know about agriculture trade, as well as how this issue is typically incorporated in RTAs. Legal also provides you with the main trade-offs to consider when negotiating agriculture trade legal provisions. Legal lists sub-issues and how to solve them through legal provisions in RTAs. Click on each of these sub-issues. You will get an explanation of this sub-issue, as well as provisions and options. Legal provides baseline option, baseline plus option, discretionary option, example option, and sample provision or option. So if you see baseline options, they are established rules widely agreed upon by the international community, which are often found in WTO-covered agreements. And baseline plus options refer to rules going beyond the baseline, including those that provide more tailored, comprehensive, inclusive, or detailed approaches to serve the policy objectives, to maintain free trade obligations, and to enhance cooperation among RTA parties. Also, in some cases, you see discretionary options, which represent rules that allow for more policy space but may cause unnecessary trade barriers and often come at the cost of trade partners. In some other cases, you will also see example options. When there is no baseline can be identified, especially for emerging issues that have been incorporated in very recent RTAs and were not addressed by the WTO agreement. So in that case, Ligotina used example provisions taken from the existing RTAs. Go to one emerging issue area. You see here, example options are often used because this is a emerging issue that are not covered by the multilateral trade rules, so we cannot find a baseline option that can be identified. And in some other cases, you will see sample model options or sample model provisions are used when there is no suitable example from the existing RTAs. So a sample model provision was proposed by the expert author of that part as a suggested provision which can be used in future trade agreements. After going through the knowledge and options of provisions for the issues that you are interested in, you can go further by use any of these features on the top, or you can search one of the keyword that you're curious about related to the issue area from here. If we click on agriculture, then we're on the page of the text search feature of Ligotina. And now we are searching for agriculture, and we can see all the agreements listed here, including the keyword agriculture. And to know more about how to search for any keyword phrases that you would like to know more, please do read this search guide. It tells you how to use the symbols and formats of keyword and also word grouping. So please do read it before you search for any keyword here. And in the following videos, I will provide you with more details on how to use the text search feature with specific examples. Now, besides text search in trade agreements, you might find that if we search for services, it will show you all the provisions that contain services as a keyword in it, including the annexes and the protocols. But as mentioned by my colleague Maria in the introduction of the database of Ligotina, in text search, you cannot see any specific service schedule covered by trade agreements. But Ligotina also provide another beta version feature here. Although this is a beta version, you are encouraged to play around with it, where you can compare the specific service commitment schedules of countries and under different trade agreements. For example, if you want to see the same country in different trade agreements, you select the same country here, and you can select different agreements here. Then you can see the comparison. Now we're looking at the same country under different agreement for the same service sector. You can see the comparison here, and you can compare the exact text in the schedule. And the other way of doing this is to see different countries, for example, under the same agreement. We can also choose the same service sector. Now we can see the comparison. So this is a way to explore specific service commitments in the schedules. This is a feature, a beta version feature of Ligotina, and there's another beta version feature of Ligotina, which is comparison of legal text of RTAs. Now in the beta version, you can only start with selecting the country that you are interested in, and you can see all the agreements involving the selected country, and you can see for each issue whether there is a provision under this agreement or not, and to what extent these provisions are similar to each other under different agreements. For example, we can also select agreements here and click on this icon. You can compare the text here. You can see how similar they are. So that's it for the beta version of text comparison feature of Ligotina, and we've been working on an updated version of it. We will keep you posted on the updates, and hopefully it will allow for more convenient comparison of RTA text. Now, go back to the RTA text search feature, which this course will be mostly focused on. I will provide you with further demonstration using examples of issue areas to show you how to use text search feature of Ligotina to explore more of legal provisions in RTAs. So that's it for this video.